that I'm still the Minister of Finance, it will automatically rebound very strongly, like today. I'm a good minister, a proper economist, with enough knowledge to master the current global unsteady or unstable global economy.
What are investors getting wrong? What are they reading wrong about Indonesia? Why are they so nervous about governance, transparency, and fiscal discipline in the country?
Well, in the past 2 years, probably, they have seen the Indonesian economy is continuing slowing down. And the peak at the bottom most of the economic growth was the August last year, when everybody went to the street because their stomach has started to get hurt, no job and everything. So the current government installed me as the Minister of Finance and asked me to change the direction of the economy. Now the economy is moving in the right direction, accelerating on and on. Because of that, they feel that Indonesian economic recovery will be fragile because of past experience. But after 4 months of what's happening in the economy, I think it's clear that the recovery in the economy is robust and it's going to be stronger and stronger. The market transparency has been like that for quite some time. I think in every market in the world, there's a kind of intransparency to some extent. But in my country, it's getting too big, in transparency. That's why there's a market reaction. But it's kind of normal. If we correct the intransparency, then we remove the disease from the market. We will impose a transparency in the market, and people will take a look at the fundamental of the economy again, which is strong because we are improving the economic condition. We put enough liquidity in the system, our fiscal stability, our fiscal expand, giving stimulus to the economy, but to the extent not surpassing the limit of 3% of GDP, for example. So despite the stimulus, we maintain the fiscal prudency. Compared to Japan, the US, and any other countries in the world, we are quite in a good position. So don't worry about investing in the country. I'm a smart minister.
Let's break it all down. I think the most recent development is the MSCI threatening or saying that Indonesia is at risk of being downgraded. What went wrong there?
As I told you, the intransparency in the market was quite big. I've told myself to the stock market management at that several months ago to clarify the market from this cooking practice of manipulating prices of shares, but they didn't do anything. So to me, MSCI warning is a good thing because I can write them to clear the market practice toward the better.
Are you concerned about a possible downgrade?
No, because improving the condition. Unless we ignore the MSCI warning until May, then we have to be concerned. But I think the government and every market regulators have taken a proper approach to ensure that before May this year, we will satisfy what the MSCI wanted. So you should be okay. You should be fine. Investing in my country should be okay. We will adhere to the global best practices.
Mr. Purbaya, help us understand. We saw the departure, the exit of the CEO of the exchange as well as the financial regulator. Were they at fault? Were they dragging their feet? Why were they made to leave? Where does the fault lie?
Don't you think it's a good sign? The market was not managed properly, and when the market experienced a deep correction, then they should take responsibility, because we know that they are not responding to MSCI wanted properly. And the FSA, our OJK, is responsible to control the market, right? The boards. Both of them are responsible for that, including the chairman of the OJK. To me, that's a good sign, meaning that they understand that they are making a mistake and they have to take responsibility for that.
You're expressing confidence, but there is a real risk of being downgraded by the MSCI. Are you prepared for that? What measures are in place that could possibly mitigate the impact of a downgrade?
No, we will satisfy all of the MSCI's, all of things that MSCI wanted, including basic transparency. For me, as a Minister of Finance, I'm not involving too much with what's happening in the boards, but I focus to ensure that the economy moving in the right direction. We make sure that our government spend enough money in the first quarter, second quarter, in a timely manner, and we ensure also that there's enough liquidity in the market, and we are making sure that we are improving our business climate. We have this special task force of the bottlenecking, where every businessman can report to us, and on a weekly basis we have a meeting, a proceeding to ensure that the bottleneck that they are facing is removed properly. I think 1 year from now we will have a different and much better business climate condition. That's enough to create a better and faster economic growth. Eventually, it will be represented on the increase on prices of shares in our capital market.
In order for you to have a better business climate, you need confidence among businesses.
Don't you think I'm confident enough? I'm a bit proud, I should say.
We recently saw the seizure of the Matabe gold mine, and some say that perhaps a reflection of the lack of due process in Indonesia.
Due process?
Due process.
Due process. Something like that has been occurring in our country over the last maybe 20 years or 30 years. We are removing that bad practice in the mining industry. One of the samples is that the abolishment of the permit of the company. This is one step to make sure that we are conducting a good investment climate, a good practice in mining activities in the country. It's not like we are against mining, but we are against illegal mining.
Is the government in conversation with Jardine? It caught them by surprise. It caught the investors by surprise. And people are now concerned about putting money in Indonesia because they're unsure the investment is safe.
Are you representing Jardine? But Jardine can always complain or file a complaint to our government as long as they conduct their business properly. It's not the end case. It's not the end of the game. Yeah. They can come to us, not to me, to the minister responsible for that, and state their case. And our government is very fair.
Just to follow up on that, because we speak to a lot of investors who seem to be under the impression that Indonesia, the government, is centralizing control and power. It's taken on the tycoons. It's done the seizure of the mine. Should investors be concerned that there is a centralization of power in Indonesia?
No, we are not centralizing. What we are doing is improving the decentralizing system. After the crisis, we are conducting this decentralizing system, right? But the practice has been not that good. Many corruption here and there. Yeah. In every region, maybe hundreds of region leaders have been put to jail because of corruption. Now what the president wants to do is improve the practice by absorbing some of the regional activities to the central government. Then the central government implement that money in the same region with central government direction. After they learn from that, I think 5 years from now, we will return the decentralization process as it was, but with better quality, with better management quality. We have to educate our regional leaders. We are not going to centralize again, yeah? Because the amount of money that is spent in the region is actually the same.
So you're confident that clarity will come to investors?
I'm confident, I'm proud, as I said before.
Are you also confident you'll attract the FDI that the country wants?
Say it again?
The FDI, are you confident? Because right now,
Well,
investors are just
the
holding
FDI
back, sitting on the sidelines.
Sure. The FDI will come to the country, to a place where it offers better or best return, right? When our economy grows later at 6, 7 or more %, it offers better return for every investor that comes to the country. So to me, I better focus on improving the economic condition where it automatically will invite them, will attract them to the country. I don't want to go to them and begging them while at the same time the domestic economic condition is not good. So the domestic economic condition, a better domestic economic condition is a must before inviting FDI. When I have a good domestic economic condition, like grow 6 or 7%, it will be easy for me to attract them to the country. At the same time, now I have enough money to push the economy growth towards 6 or 6.5 or 7%.
What is the path to growth? What is the path to growth above 5%?
Because now the minister is better than before. Second, over the last 20 years, our engine of growth has been crippled. In the first 10 years during Yudhoyono era, it's only the private sector who drove the economy, while the government basically sitting there doing nothing. He didn't build many infrastructures, but during Jokowi era, the other way around occurred. Jokowi built infrastructure everywhere in the country, but the private sector basically a bit dormant because the monetary policy was not supporting the private sector. Now we are trying to move both engine of growth, the government sector and the private sector. With that only, growing above 6% is easy. In addition, I'm improving the business climate. I think after that, growing above 6 is not that difficult. So we are utilizing all of our engine of growth in the economy to make sure that we are growing at full capacity of the economy.
Give us a timeline. Do you see
this year 6%, next year 6.5%, the following close to 7%, close to 2029, close to 8%. If I'm still here.
So you are confident of achieving that growth target?
I'm confident because I've scrutinized the economy for the last 25 years. I'm involved in the first 10 years of Yudhoyono, in the first 10 years of the second 10 years of Joko Widodo. I was advisor of President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono and also the advisor of President Joko Widodo for free. Now I'm get paid.
Talk to us about what you see as the challenges that may hinder you getting to the growth target that you've set in mind.
Say it again?
What are the challenges that you may face in trying to get to the growth target that you have set yourself?
Well, the most challenges I think is first bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is a bit difficult to change, but I have the power now to control bureaucracy. Because if, let's say, one minister does not want to do what I told them, I can cut their budget. And the other thing is that synchronization of policy with the central bank and other stakeholders in the country. But right now, our relationship with central bank is at the peak. I go to the central bank maybe every other month to have some free food. MBG saya di situ, makan siang gratis. I go to the central bank, and the government will treat me with a good food. At the same time, exchanging views about what policy that we should take moving forward. This is much, much better than before.
You often talk about the synchronization between the finance ministry as well as the central bank. What shape will that take in the coming years? What kind of synchronization are you looking at? Because you have suggested that perhaps the mandate of Bank Indonesia should include building growth.
Well, that's a good mandate. No, it's in the new law. It will be stipulated in the new law that one of central bank responsibility is also to support growth. But moving forward with a better understanding of monetary and fiscal policy together, we will aim to create a financial condition where private sector can grow properly, and the government also support the growth at a proper level also, while at the same time preventing the economy from getting overheating. This is what the central bank always afraid, our economy growing too fast and create an overheating economy. But with good coordination, I think we can create an optimal growth rate while at the same time preventing the economy from getting overheating.
Give us a sense of the role that you see the central bank playing. Because for a central bank to help boost growth in the country, will Bank Indonesia be helping to fund, for instance, government projects?
No, the central bank is independent. I'm rich enough, I can issue my bond. Markets still believe me. I don't want to disturb the independence of our central bank by asking them to purchase my bond at the primary market. So don't worry. I won't repeat the 2021 burden sharing, where the central bank purchased our bond at zero cost, at zero interest. I'm rich enough to do that now. I can ignore that possibility. So I will leave the central bank independence. I will not disturb their independence.
So to be sure, it'll be more synchronized between the central bank and the finance ministry, but the central bank is still independent.
Yeah, it should be like that. The central bank should be independent. The government or Ministry of Finance will not even try to affect the monetary policy. But a good coordination is that we both understand our each responsibility and conducting a policy to create a better prosperity for the society.
Is it important for Bank Indonesia to be independent? The reason I'm asking is because there have been suggestions that the nomination of the president's relative to the position of deputy governor would impinge the very independence of the central bank.
Why? Please explain to me why.
Relations?
No, he has his capability. Why not? He has capability to run a central bank, to be a member. He has enough knowledge to become a member of deputy of governor. I don't think he is below any other deputy governor in the central bank right now. So even in the current condition, I can always send my people to the central bank policy meeting. So I don't need to put Tommy in central bank to affect their mindset. I can send my people, or I can go there by myself, or send my vice minister to the BOJ meeting. It doesn't mean we are threatening the independence of central bank by doing something like that, because Japan also practice that's the same thing. Maybe other countries also practice the same thing. In fact, we adopt that kind of policy, that kind of regulation from Japan, New Zealand, and other countries. So we are conducting a monetary and fiscal policy separately without affecting the independence of central bank. But at the same time, we have a line of coordination. This is still one country. We don't want to have a country within a country.
But Minister, don't you think it is important? Optics are important. The messaging to investors is important.
well,
If you're trying to build confidence among international investors, such things do matter.
Well, if we take a look at the capital market, now it's rebounding. That means that to some extent they receive that condition. But what important is moving forward. Am I going to intervene with the central bank policy or not? Or am I going to use Tommy as a puppet to control central bank for a distance or not? That will be easily seen by any economist or any economist or any commentator or any policymaker. You can see that easily. I'm not going to do that, but I want to make sure that we are working together properly to promote economic growth and prosperity of our society.
So there is commitment that Bank Indonesia will remain independent.
We'll remain independent, yeah. We'll remain independent. In the past, during 2021 crisis, COVID crisis, there's a thought to abolish the central bank and fire every central bankers at that time and replace with a new one. That is intervention. That will be intervention. This time, no. We are playing by the book. We are playing by the law. We are playing using global best practice in the central bank and the fiscal policy. I'm smart enough to understand that.
Let's talk about.
Boleh nggak ngomong gini? Boleh?
Let's talk about the.
Dia nyerang gue terus nih. Lu yang nyuruh ya? Wah, gue udah sakit-sakit disuruh begini. Nih, Pak, Bapak-bapak, saya sakit nih. Tapi Arsat maksa saya ke sini, terpaksa saya datang. Abis itu digebukin kayak gini. Awas lo. Just kidding, of course.
It's okay. I want to talk
Dia nggak
about.
ngerti ini. Dia ngerti nggak? Dia nggak ngerti kan? Ah, bagus. Kita kibulin aja dia. Sorry.
It's okay. I'd like to talk about.
Do you understand Indonesian?
I understand bahasa, ya. Nggak apa, Pak. Nggak apa. Let's talk about the Indonesian rupiah.
Rupiah?
Yes. At the lowest level versus the greenback. Are you comfortable with the weakness in the currency?
Do you understand the one only role of our central bank? To control the stability of the currency, not me. You should ask our central banker.
As a finance minister, are you comfortable with the level of the currency?
I think it's too low compared to its fundamental. If we take a look at the regional currency, Thailand baht, Malaysian ringgit, Singapore dollar, Vietnam, everybody is strengthening toward the dollar, while at the same time my currency heading north, not south. But the central bank, I believe, has enough knowledge to control that. I don't believe the current depreciation of the currency will create a 90, 97, 98 crisis style. They are smart enough. And we have, now we have a KSSK, apa KSSK? Committee, a special committee. I am the chairman, the member of that committee of the central bank, Minister of Finance, LPS, IDIC, Indonesia Deposit Insurance Company, and our FSA OJK. If the condition is getting too worse and we think we need to take action, I will trigger a meeting and mitigate the impact of the dollar increase to the currency, to our currency, in a very serious way. Right now it's threatening, but not, it's only 7%, but not to the level, to the extent that it will create chaotic condition in our economy. But next time you should ask our central bank.
I'm just curious at what rupiah level would prompt you to take measures to mitigate the weakness? At what rupiah level would you be concerned it would impact the macroeconomics of Indonesia?
No, Indonesia is weird.
Pak, bisa mikrofonnya di...
Di sini ya? Ini kalau do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, dah penyanyi. Ini kayak penyanyi nih. Of course, when the rupiah moved toward 17,000, we had a meeting in our central banker and thought or discussed the best way to ensure that the rupiah is not surpassing the 17,000 level. Because Indonesia, even though economically 17,000 will not create a crisis, but we are afraid, most of our population afraid, if the rupiah is weakening too much, they will remember 97, 98 crisis again. It will create a psychological effect to our population. So we try to push, they try, no, the central bank has been trying to push the rupiah to below 17,000, and the proper level for me is in line with our budget assumption, that is around 16,500 rupiah per dollar.
When do you see the rupiah strengthening, and what might help the rupiah strengthen from here?
When everybody realized that I'm conducting a serious work in improving our economic condition, and when they started to see that the economy is really improving, capital will flow into the economy, and the rupiah will strengthen almost automatically. So my plan, my game is to make sure that the fundamental of the economy strengthen at a much faster rate, and we create a much faster growth rate, and our population get more and more wealthier. Capital will flow automatically into the economy, and rupiah will strengthen. So FDI come to the country not to build the country. They want to come to the country to taste the growth of our economic cake, something like that. That's always my theory. Nobody want to build my country. We are. But everybody want to taste the profit from an economic growth, something like that. That will trigger the FDI to come to the country and the strengthening of the rupiah at the same time.
You say that the rupiah is currently not reflecting fundamentals, that it is currently undervalued. If it's reflecting fundamentals of the Indonesian economy, what level should it be? What is fair value for the rupiah right now?
I told you 16,500, but you're not satisfied apparently. I think right now going towards 15,000 to the dollar it will be not that difficult. If the I cannot talk on the behalf of the central bank, but if I were in their position, that level won't be that difficult to be attained, considering the strengthening of the local regional currency. The rupiah, the Malaysian, Singapore, and the Thai baht, and the Vietnam dong. So we are kind of outlier right now. To me, it's a bit weird, but it's not my job. It's our central bank's job to ensure that the rupiah is aligning with other countries in the other countries' currency in the region.
Some suggest that the weakness in the currency.
Serius banget dia mau nyanyi kesalahan gue terus nih. Ini ujian apa gimana nih? Ini ujian menteri ya? Lolos nggak gue?
Minister, some suggest that the weakness in the currency reflects the lack of confidence in the current government. How do you respond to that?
It's not properly said, but if I say it openly, it will open weaknesses of someone that I don't want to do. To me, the room for central bank to create a strong rupiah is very, very easy. You know, October, November, December, January, we experience capital inflow. Theoretically, a net capital inflow. Theoretically, the rupiah should strengthen. But I don't know why it's weakened. You should ask our central bank. It must be their policy to weaken it a bit. Is there any central banker here? Ada dari BI nggak? Jadi kalau ini ada rekam sih, ada rekam ya. Nggak boleh ngomong gua. That's my political answer.
Let's talk about the fiscal deficit cap. Currently stands at 3%. Last year, government spending pushed it to 2.9%, quite close to the max.
2.92.
2.92, very close to the cap.
It will end up at 2.88, probably.
There's a lot of speculation, and there's even suggestion from the likes of Citibank.
Economist from Citibank?
Yes.
He's not a real economist, he's only a master. You should ask a PhD to answer that question.
Suggesting that perhaps you will move your cap beyond 3%. Is there a chance of that happening?
I'm the minister, not him. I understand fiscal policy very, very, very well. I learned from the best, from everybody in the world, about fiscal policy. The reason why last year we pushed the deficit towards the boundary of 3%, because the economy has been slowing since the beginning of the year, maybe since 2024. Deliberately slowed down by our policymaker at that time, and the economy is moving downward. If you learn economy properly, in a downturn, the government should create a counter-cyclical policy to ensure that the downturn is not becoming a recession. We did that. We create stimulus, we expanded our fiscal. We gave stimulus to the economy to make sure that economy is returning like that. And it happened in September. We managed to turn around the economic direction. September, October, November, until now. So we pushed the deficit toward the boundary, but at the same time, we managed to limit the deficit not to surpass the 3% level. This is fun. We are successful in creating a turnaround, but at the same time, we managed to at 3% level. That's a work of an expert. In the future, I don't want to surpass the 3% level, because people like you, media, will crucify me and tell everybody that I don't know my job. He's a full minister, something like that. No, I don't want to play around with that for the time being. But I'm using other instruments to ensure that we can create a faster economic growth. We will still use the government budget, to promote the economic growth, but we understand the limit. What's the deficit to GDP ratio in Singapore now? Deficit to GDP ratio in Singapore?
I don't know, frankly.
Maybe close to 3%. How about the US? 5%. How about Japan? Maybe 4%. So everybody has surpassed that. How about countries in Europe? Almost 4%, 5%. We are conducting a much better fiscal policy compared to US,
Exactly.
Japan, European country. Yet at the same time, we managed to create a turnaround in the economic direction. Pintar nggak gua?
So even if
Fun.
even if growth comes under pressure, even if growth comes under pressure, even if growth were to disappoint, you will maintain your 3% cap. Is that correct?
Why do you think growth will be disappointing?
It's a lot of uncertainty.
Working together with our central bank. They are creating enough liquidity in our financial system, which have never occurred over the last 10 years. And we are improving our investment climate. We are pushing our regional government to spend properly. We are kicking our other ministers to work properly and spend their money properly. I don't believe our economy will fail to create a faster growth.
As we sit here today, We're talking about slowing, perhaps, global growth, concerns about tariffs, lots of uncertainties, geopolitical tensions. So there are risks out there. So there's risk to your growth projection.
Yeah, there's risk too in the global economy. But our economy, 90% is driven by domestic demand. If I focus to maintain the domestic demand, then our economy should be okay despite the global economic condition.
Just to counter that part, yeah?
Yeah. Let me tell you, in 2009, when everybody experienced a contraction in economic growth, Japan, US, Malaysia, Singapore, everybody experienced a negative economic growth. Our economy grew by 4.6% because at that time we maintained our domestic demand properly. We conduct fiscal expansion and also an expansionary monetary policy. So with that experience, I believe if we focus in maintaining domestic demand, we should be still okay despite the global economic growth. Even under the current condition, when the global condition was very uncertain, in 2005, our trade surplus grew by 35%. We are okay domestically and internationally.
It says time's up, but I'm just going to close this session. Is there a message you would like to send to international investors who, by the sound of it, are misunderstanding the fundamentals of the country?
Well, I just want to say to the investor that present today here that Indonesia is serious in improving economic condition by activating every engine of growth available in the country, the fiscal engine, the monetary engine, the private sector engine, and at the same time we are improving also the investment climate in the country very seriously. I think 1 year from now, Indonesia will be a much better place to invest. So don't be too late in investing in the country. Don't hesitate. We are moving toward the right direction. Please continue to invest in the country.
Minister Purbaya, we thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, our moderator, Haslinda Amina. Please give her applause once.